Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started now. All of us live with the ataxia. What it's like every day is not something we deal with just once in a while. It's something we wake up in the mornings with and go to bed with at night. So, what are the detours ahead with life with ataxia? We are lucky today to have Nygel Lenz. He's the support group leader from Florida, and he's going to share with us some of the ideas that he has for dealing with ataxia. Thank you very much.
Again, my name's Nygel Lenz, and let me open up. So, and no relationships. Okay, so like Ron was saying, my topic is Detours ahead, and I'm 41, and I have Friedreich's ataxia. So I lead a support group in Tampa, and I should also mention I'm not used to speaking to a large group of people, and I'm not used to, I'm accustomed to interaction with people, so it's a little different for me to just talk and no one talk back to me. So, like I said, it should be maybe obvious, but I titled it Detours Ahead because, we all go through detours there's changes that you might not be aware of and that all of a sudden come up. And so everyone in here, whether you have ataxia or not, you're facing many different obstacles every day. Okay, so that was me when I was 8, and so I grew up, pretty normal kid, very active, involved in sports, baseball, soccer, football, mostly riding my bike, skateboarding even. And when I was 11, I got diagnosed with scoliosis, and I had no idea at that time that scoliosis is a symptom of FA. But so anyway, I got a brace, and I continued living as I'd done before. And then when I turned 15, I had to get surgery, so I got the rods put in my back. And this was 1990, and I didn't know I had FA. The way they do surgery now is much different. So if you do have FA, or if you have kids with FA, and you're thinking about surgery, if you already know, they do things much differently. And I mention that though because when I had it, I noticed immediately afterward with my walking being unbalanced, and I knew then something was wrong, and so I thought it was because of the surgery, but later found out it was FA that was causing that. And also, I was told I had a heart murmur and that was something new to me. So anyway, that surgery though, it really changed because I think I'll put on the next slide. That was me graduating high school and my grandmother. So yeah, the surgery was the start of my sophomore year of high school, and I went all the way through high school undiagnosed, and I had begun seeing a neurologist, and was trying to figure it out, but only some of my friends knew, and then some people, I was very shy, and especially because of this, whatever it is I had, I couldn't walk straight, so I tried to avoid situations where that would be noticeable, and it kept me from doing a lot of things, which was, when I look back now, I wish that were different, but that's, that was how it was. And as I was saying, I was told by my orthopedist after the surgery I couldn't do sports anymore, so so that ended my promising athletic career, which was not that promising, but so then I had to, I wanted to go to college, and I knew I had to change what I wanted to do for a living. I had my friend was an Army kid. His father was a colonel, and he wanted to go in the Army. I wanted to go in the Air Force. I've been watching Top Gun and whatnot. It was exciting, and anyway, I really wanted to do that. I wanted to fly, and I slowly began to realize that dream was becoming more and more distant, something I couldn't do. So my friend and I, we chose, like I said, went to University of Florida, and I say I was lucky to get accepted, but I did. And so before then, when I knew I couldn't go in the Air Force, I said, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I decided to go to law school, and so I majored in criminology. I figured that would be a good choice. And then I finally got diagnosed when I was in college, again, sophomore year of college, so 4 years later. And this was about a week prior to my 20th birthday. So, and I say at the time, I was happy just to get a name, and I really didn't care to know much more, because I thought it's just in my head, what's going on. And so when I got a name, it was, hey, wow, I'm not crazy. It is something. So I was happy with that. Also, there really was no internet back then. I could have gone to the library, but I really didn't care that much. So didn't look up anything, and I just wanted it to go away, but obviously it did not. So then I did a drug trial because my neurologist told me that, hey, they're doing a study. It was up in New York, and he had told me about it, and I was thrilled, very happy. But actually, the drug made me feel worse. So I was disillusioned. I thought that it really turned me off from wanting to do research again because of that. But since that time, I've changed. I'm very much in support of research, but back then, it really scared me. So, and I noticed other people there at the clinic using wheelchairs and speaking much the way I do now, and it really scared me, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. And like I said, below, I remember, and I do remember this, I told my dad that I'd rather be dead than in a wheelchair. But like I say, my things have really changed. It's I've accepted it. I think, I fully, by now, have accepted that. And when I did have to, I don't want to get too far off, but when I did finally use the wheelchair and other devices, I realized they actually help you to do more things. Before that, you're limited, and you don't necessarily make that connection. But anyway, so at that time, I was taking my research methods and his research for criminology, not medical. So and I thought, wow, there's way too many lawyers out there. There's a lot of competition, and so I thought, I'll get involved in research, and I will become a professor and do research and teach. And so that's me with a cane, and I started using it finally by my right before my last year of college. And as I say here, that was extremely difficult to accept of anything, of the cane, the walker, or the wheelchair. The cane was the most difficult because it was first. And but when I did start using it, I noticed that people didn't look at me like I was drunk. People didn't look at me, stare at me. They figured something was wrong. So whether it helped me with my walking or just alerting people that I was disabled, that it really made a difference. I think really helped. So if you're struggling with that yourselves, then I would advise, go for it. Use it. Use what you have to use. Okay, so progressive. So after graduating from UF, I had to move back home. I live in Clearwater, and I moved back in with my mother, which a lot of college kids do now. But for me, I had no desire to do that. I planned to, like I said, I was thinking about graduate school, but I was also looking for a job, and I thought, go out to the world, do something. But having to go back home was not very cool. But coincidentally, I started graduate school there, and like I say here, I was able to publish an article, do my own research, which was really cool. But FA, of course, is always there, any ataxia, but it just is there to remind you that your life is, your body is constantly changing. So good things and bad, but you're constantly changing. So it was having to accept that. So like I said, I began using a walker, and that was not easy, but easier than the cane because I had already done that. And then it's embarrassing, but whatever. Okay, bumps in the road. By the way, I did have notes for this, but I did not. I'm not used to doing this, as I said, so I don't have my notes. They were in my own slides, but they're gone. So anyway, after graduate school, I had a lot of problems. First I had atrial fibrillation, which is where your heart is beating extremely fast, and you lose it's very difficult to breathe and so forth. So I had my first experience with that in '99, and I had to go in a hospital. But when I was there, I was told that there are many drugs to treat this, and with ataxia, everybody here knows you don't hear about treatments for things. So I was stoked. I was happy. I was like, yes, let's do it. So the drugs helped, and my balance continued to worsen, and where I kept falling, and even with the walker, so you use the wheelchair full time, and I had a problem with that because I went to work, and I had a car, but I couldn't afford to get a vehicle with a lift or anything, and there was no point in driving. I could still drive, but I couldn't drive anywhere by myself. So having somebody in the car tell me it was my wheelchair made no sense. So that was what made me find the NAF. my mother already had, but I had no interest at the time. So I did. I finally looked in 2001. I began doing research, and I found a group. Not only did I find it, but they were in my city. So I was extremely happy. But I thought all I wanted at the time was I wanted to know, how do these people get to work, and what do they, I wanted to figure out how they work and stuff like that. But and then when I went there, it wasn't so much about, hey, how do you guys get to work? It was wow, I'm meeting other people with ataxia, which I had never done before. And so it was very exciting. And I'd imagine, much like, especially if you're here for the first time, or even if not, it's always, I think, awesome to come back here because you interact with people who you don't even need to say a word to each other. You know that what you experience, they experience also, and you can, even without talking, understand each other. So, anyway, I say it felt comforting, like a home. I say this is a critical feeling that, it's a feeling that, for me, it kept me coming back to, because I went to my first conference in 2002, and so I kept coming back for 9 years straight. And I said, I've missed some recently for good reasons. So when I joined my support group, the leader in my third meeting, she decided to step down. Nobody else offered to lead the group, so I did. And actually leading the group, extremely rewarding. I love meeting new people with ataxia going through similar things. We don't all go through the same things, of course. We're different people, but we have a lot of the same issues. And so I did that, and it boosted my confidence because I've been crushed. I think, like I mentioned, I did the grad school, and I was looking for a job, couldn't find a job. I got a lot of interviews, but no job. Finally got a job in 2004, and I didn't put down what my job was. I was an assessor at a juvenile facility, which basically when a kid gets arrested, they were brought in, and I would interview them. So I did that for nine years, and it also encouraged me to appeal this paratransit service, which had been denied to me in 2001 when I was looking for a job the first time. So the Ataxia Club, that's the club we're all in. So I said, I already met him. So, yeah, going through the first meeting, first conference, I met my first friend with FA because in my group nobody else had FA. So I met Aaron Kittle, and it was very comforting. About five years ago, he passed away, and sorry, I get emotional. I get emotional. Anyway, when that happens, it reminds you that what this disease is. Anyway, so makes us a little more desperate for treatments, and get it. So we all have good days and bad days, and I can tell you one, and so what I have on here this morning, trying to button up my shirt. What a pain! Like I used to always wear button-up shirts, but I quit. So anyway, everyone goes through all that kind of stuff, and we with losses and gains. And for me, dating was very difficult, and like I had, from when I was a teenager, envisioned getting married, having children, and that was a difficult thing to face. For me personally, I didn't want to have my own kids. I didn't want to pass along the FA gene. But I did have very, very good friends, and my best friend was Andy. He's been with me to some meetings, and he was planning to move to San Francisco in 2008, and I wanted to go there with him. And so, like I said, my goal is to go there also, but I had trouble selling my condo, or I had never put it up for sale. We found a place, but it didn't work out. So I stayed in Florida. I was bored. I had friends and family, but finally in 2009, I decided I needed to make things happen. And that was when I met my wife. So had I gone to San Francisco, I wouldn't have met her. So her name's Caroline, and she made me much better. And I was, like I said, very, very fortunate, and she does, probably too much for me, and I wish they were different. I wish they were more balanced, but so when we got together, I went back to school. I had to go back to grad school again. Got a master's, finished in 2012, and I got hired to do adjunct teaching. I do it online, and it's time's up, almost up, right? So we do have good detours, and for me, the good, obviously, getting married, that was my biggest good detour. We travel, watch movies, go out to eat, spend time with friends, family. And one of probably our biggest trip is going to Europe. She graduated from grad school, and so did I. So went to Europe, and it was amazing. And also, back in December, we moved to a house, and we got a pug. And you'll see a picture of her coming up. So okay, so this is back in 2005. We had a meeting in Tampa, and it was awesome. I don't want to take up too much time. How am I on time? I think I'm over time. So we're about at the end. But I want to make the point that, obviously I can't speak for everybody here, but I know from my support group and people I talk to that no matter what, we're all dealing with something, and we all have similar struggles, if not the same. At different times, we do still have similar ones or the same ones, and I encourage everyone I can to do everything you can and use your strengths to help you and, help your health, happiness, and to fight this disease, because if you don't, who will? So that's me. Well, that's when we got married in 2011, and that was the other picture. It's in London at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, if you've ever been seen. That's the intro, and that's me up in Aruba. They have some nice parking spots on the beach. They also have nice little tiki hut tables that even have little wheelchair logos on. So they're for just people in wheelchairs. So anyway, we went there on our honeymoon, and that's really cool. So I think that's all I have.